Hey everyone, thank you again for joining us for another episode of the Liverpool Connection podcast. We're at a favorite Irish pub, BD Riley's here in Austin, Texas, where the pints flow and today the tears kind of flow. Yeah, I'm here with Justin. We just saw the draw 2-2 versus Man United. Initial thoughts, Justin.
Uh, Initially, I feel like it's not that bad. It's really not that bad. I mean, we've seen how bad everyone else has kind of been. It's United away at Anfield. It's Amarim trying to just hold on to do anything. I mean, you can see the guy was gutted when it went 2-1 for that moment. Like everything they could do to claw it back. That was today. It was just don't lose from a United perspective, and it's not going to be that way for anybody else they face the rest of the year. It hasn't been even like it's just a different feeling. It's a half derby or whatever. Like it's these two teams that have been nemesis for a while going at it again. Like those players did not want to lose today, and today we just didn't have enough in a way in the final third or but we just didn't have enough to beat them today. It's like unfortunately this was a day where they may have wanted it more in a way.
You
It
know,
kind of came up that way. So.
I said this before. I predicted a 3-1 victory for Liverpool. This the form goes out the window in these matches, right? They're not playing well. We've been playing well, but in this fixture, I mean, they derailed us last year when we were playing well. They weren't playing well, and they really started our skid when they beat us in the FA Cup in extra time, and then they beat us a couple weeks later.
2-2 at Anfield again. Like yeah, it's a shades of the 2-2 again, right? So
Yeah, so we're going into this match. Kudos to the ground keepers team that shoveled all the snow off the pitch, and hopefully everybody was safe getting to the match. But I guess the big question today was Kwanzaa going to start or Kanate? They brought Kanate into the starting lineup, and the rest of the team kind of picks itself. He prefers that 11. I thought Soboslai was ill, and I think we really could have used his energy, especially in the second half. But we had enough to beat United. I mean, at the end of the day, the XG was like 2.87 for us, 0.99 for them. Even without the penalty kick for Salah, we're like 1.87. We should have beat them, but at the end of the day, maybe a draw is a fair result because Maguire had a huge chance at the very end of the game.
yeah, exactly. It's like yeah, that Maguire chance will go down. I'm sure for a lot of United supporters as yeah, like this is how we kickstart. But they'll take heart from this as well as they should. I mean, this was what United wanted to do when they came. I mean, I saw it from the beginning. Everybody's talking about 8-0s and this and that. Like, no chance. Like, there was never any circumstance. I was happy with a 2-1, and we were almost there. Even first half, I was like, 0-0 first half is good because Arna just, this is what we do. Where the second half FC, like, first half is just about taking it easy and extracting what we can from them and figuring it out second half. And it almost paid dividends because it has tend to do so. 2-1 today. I thought we were coasting. That on my goal was it was a strike out of nowhere. I was trying to sing a song, have a drink, and immediately Ahmad scores from something that like right across our back four. Like everybody's caught out. Everyone's caught out, and it's ridiculous in a way, but it's kind of that's what this fixture is about, and it's kind of what the people purists will understand that 2-2 today is not the worst given the circumstances.
I was looking at you. You kind of looking back at that first half where it's 0-0, 0-0 at halftime, right? And it was like the possession was kind of 50-50, and it looked like we were kind of passive. I didn't think that we were on the front foot like we normally would. But then again, I think we have so much confidence in this team that in the second half we're like we turn up a notch, and we did. I think for a lot of people, this game will come down to the Trent game. He's going to be a major talking point on social media, obviously, on this last week where Real Madrid came with a $20 million or 20 million pound contract offer. We've countered offered with a 78 million dollar, 78 million euro offer reportedly, right? It's just come from a couple of sources. 300K a week. But today um, looked like the Trent from last season versus the Trent defensively this season. He was disengaged, passes were not on, lost his mark, really no sense of urgency, and you can just sense from the pub that and not really checking social media after the game. I really think that he's going to be a major focus point of this game
It's a
afterwards.
distraction. He's a it's a distraction at this point. Like it has been a distraction. It will continue to be a distraction. All of these players, as long as they go without signing a contract, are a distraction. Everyone can say like, "Oh, we're going for the title. We're all like harmonious or whatever." But I think you and I know that you talk to people in a dressing room, like you talk to people, dynamics can change in an instant. Like, is Van Dyke as happy today with Trent as he was a week ago? Like were the
Well, I
mistakes
mean,
like
during the
how
game,
is that
Trent was Van Dyke was not happy with Trent the whole game. It hasn't affected Van Dyke. It hasn't affected Salah. But today, and maybe it's a one-off. Who knows? But today was not a good day at the office for Trent Alexander-Arnold.
it's an unwelcome distraction is all it is. I mean, yeah, it's like I'm not gonna lump on Trent right now. There were times when we probably should have profited from his creativity today. There were a few times when it's like we maybe should have scored from that or this or like you know, Salah taking the free kick or whatever. I thought Trent should maybe have taken that. I thought it was set up for Trent, and maybe he redeems himself and he becomes the king of Liverpool again for the day or whatever. But at this point, it's only more of fodder, fuel the fire of the media and like, but that is unwelcome. It's like we are top of the league. We are going for the title. Mohamed Salah has said so himself. He wants this. We know Van Dijk wants this. Like we know Trent should want this for the city, but at the same time, is his head turned? These are all unwelcome distractions that we don't really need. Like when a team is focused, this team, if they all had 2 more years on their contracts, we'd be walking this. That's
It's interesting because in the first half, I thought Gapco didn't play very well. I didn't think Diaz played well. Trent was kind of on the periphery, but the problem is when you make mistakes on the defense, it leads to chances from the other team. It leads to goals from the other team, and that it highlights it, right? Because how many times did Gapco lose the ball in the first half, and we don't really complain about it. He scored a goal in the second half, right? And I thought Trent was going to be changed. If Bradley was healthier, I thought Trent would have been changed at halftime, just like Slot changed Kwanzaa at halftime against Forest. I thought that would have been the move to make. He didn't make the move, and then when we went up 2-1, I thought he could have. Uh, that's the time. I thought he could have brought. I thought he could have brought Endo on at that time, just because that's what Endo is about in this season is to close games out. He didn't bring Endo on, which I thought it was a mistake. He left Trent on, which I thought it was a mistake because I thought Trent should have been subbed at halftime. He left him on.
one more defensive body for their second. Like Endo would be pushing up a bit. Like he would have snuffed that out. Like of course we have to think that way. Like in a way, like that second goal is super hard to take because I think it's so soft. It's so soft. Like from this defense, how is no one pushing up and out and kicking that away? Like how do you not? It just runs across a scuffed cross. Like gives us 1 point, and that's so hard to take.
Well, I mean, we kind of mentioned this, as a defender myself. There's two places that the guy on the wing wants to serve the ball: across the front of the goal, or to the penalty spot. And I think Kanate will
Fan.
yeah, I think Kanate will say he could have done better. That ball shouldn't come across the ground,
He's out on his feet.
right?
Konate is done at that point.
Yeah, and yeah, Kanate had to play a little bit. And this is another thing, I think Kwanzaa could have come in there for the last 10 minutes.
Enzo could have come in. Kwanzaa could have come in. Endo could have come in. Bradley could have come in. Shored up.
Yeah.
And I think at that point, just the legs see us through. Yeah, it's
I
just
mean, you have Kanate hadn't played in 8 weeks, and we're asking him to play full 90. And so, I mean, if you don't have enough confidence for Kwanzaa to come in to play 10, 15 minutes to shore up the defense, or Endo to come in, so we have to kind
played
of,
well last match.
and and Slot has made all the decisions correct. I think he made some decisions incorrect today. That I and you're just looking at it from afar, to bring Endo on to solidify the central midfield, to bring Trent off a lot earlier, because when Bradley came on, he showed his mettle, he showed his pace, and we played a little differently. And I thought, he had Simicus warming up, and he didn't bring Simicus on. I also thought when Gapco came on, I thought he could have kept Gapco on, because Gapco was finally coming into the game. He was playing a lot better. I thought he could have kept Gapco on, maybe leave, you know, sub Jota in for Diaz. And and I love Nunez, but I didn't think that was the time for him to come on.
No, it seems a bit preordained as opposed to what is going on in the match itself. Which when you're up 3-0 or whatever is fine. Like bring those on. It's cool, but we can absorb. But 2-1 at home to a United who are resurgent, like someone that's what Amarim's over there fighting for his life. Like they're scrappy. Like literally just shut them down. And we didn't do that. It was I think the legs of Kanate maybe in the end, yeah, it just kind of did us. And yeah, it's like you're saying, like Slot hasn't gotten much wrong, but today I feel like maybe could have rung the changes a bit earlier and saw that out, and like maybe he'll get called out for it. Maybe that'll make him better. Maybe that is our downfall. It's like
Well, I mean, you have Kanate coming out from 8 weeks off or whatever, how many weeks, and then Trent vacating that space, and he's always having to go back out there, and that's asking a lot for your center back that's covering. Um, and and I said this at the pub. It's like, Robbo has really been out of form, right, as a fullback, and yet they still attack that right side. They hardly attacked on their right, our left, and which was interesting, and they still attacked over there. And Kanade had to do a lot of extra coverage because of the fact that Trent was pushed up. And I said it at the pub, and I'll say it again here for all the world to see. You don't have to wait for the ball to go over your head as a defender to start running. As soon as the ball is kicked, you should be sideways and start running. And a lot of times, Trent was square on. The guy's going by him. It's very basic defending, and whatever
yeah,
happens, I think it has to be sorted out.
I think yeah, it's definitely a time for this summer is like the Slot summer. I mean, I can't believe that he doesn't have some say in what is going on in the back room with the contracts and whatever. Like maybe he doesn't want a Trent at right back. Maybe he wants a Bradley and someone else that is competitive and will solidify it. Maybe we want that type of like on the flank solidity because honestly, love them, but the boys are not doing the same thing this year as they have done in years gone past. Like Robbo has lost his step. I'm sorry, like I don't like to say it, but it has been done. Like I've seen it week in week out. Trent has his head turned. Like I don't like that saying as well, but it's a thing. Like these, we need
We could be honest about things,
like
right?
yeah, exactly. Like we just need a little bit solidity on the flanks, and we'd be flying. Like honestly, because it does seem like the left back has been a problem for weeks gone by. And Trent now with this whole shit coming out with Real Madrid and the bids and the this and the that and the like it's coming to a head, like it has to. It will do. So solidity, like do you throw Bradley in, but like at the same time, those are the things, those are the areas that could cost us the league. They have like tonight we've seen that could be the thing. Everything else is kind of flying like oh it could, like could Darwin score 10 more? Of course he could. But the back line, that's bread and butter. We need to close them out. I think Slot's maybe a bit annoyed by our two fullbacks of legendary status at this club right now. So
We talked about this prior to the match. Is that our defense has started leaking goals, right? And we went through the first 10 games where we never gave up more than one goal. Now we're starting to give up 2 goals a game. That has to be a little concern, and I think that the team will have to look at it as a unit. Like, why are we? I mean, in all honesty, I mean they're .99 right for XG, which says a lot. But we should be winning today. But I think the fact that we're giving up these goals where we weren't giving up these goals, and our trend was so below the curve early on that you expect it to kind of get back to the mean of like giving up the goals, right? And we're still in first place. We have we had the Spurs on the midweek during the Carabao Cup first leg
Yeah,
at,
maybe
at
that carries
Spurs.
us through. Like maybe that carries us through this. Like it would be not a good thing to go and draw that match. Like honestly, like it kind of puts weird pressure. Like it doesn't, but it does. I mean, this is just a league of pressure. This is a lot of games being played, a lot of competitions. If you slip up here, it can slip up elsewhere. This person gets injured, that person like is out of form. This guy is being talked about by Real Madrid. Like everything can change. It's all so tight. I mean, it would be an embarrassment at this point if we go on to lose the league. I think like it would. Of all these years that I've seen Liverpool lead the league at Christmas, like this one is the one that's like over the line, please, without weirdness, But I'm just hoping and praying for a fucking party here, free flowing kegs.
That's
And
right.
all the goodness.
We'll get BD rallies to do a. If we win the league, we'll have our end of season party
We
here.
should do. We should be on course. We should be on course to do so. Even after today, it should be on course. Like I watched everybody else draw today and this weekend, and like it's all a big ass thing. But us losing to United at Anfield 1-1 is 2-2 is like not the worst thing.
Yeah, no, and to keep it all in perspective, 6 points up, a game in hand still. So let's just say it's 9 points, right? Arsenal's going to continue to drop points without Saka. I don't think our next Premier League game is against Forest. So that'll be a 6 pointer. We'll say that's a 6 pointer, right? And I don't consider Forest really a challenge to us. It's going to be Arsenal. Newcastle's on form. They're a few points behind us. So anyway, to close it up, it's a day at the office. We didn't lose.
Against our biggest rival. Let's be honest. They're United
This
are
is
our
this is
biggest
their
rival.
this is their World Cup final,
It
and
is.
I said they're probably going to go end up losing the next 3 games because they're shite. But they came up today, and we got our tactics a little wrong, but we didn't lose, and still Slot has only lost one game all season.
Yeah, exactly. It's like still one loss, which is it's like win more than we draw. Like draw more than we lose. I think we're okay. So
So straight from Justin's mouth. Keep it in perspective. We're still top of the league. We're gonna win the league. So subscribe, like, put on notifications, and we will see you guys on Wednesday for the Spurs game. Cheers.